is a former Navy SEAL, and the president of the Citizen League, Carl Higbie, back as well. All right, let's get right to the Daily Download.
Let's look at what happened in Sandy Hook. That guy, Connecticut passed a massive 1160 bill that basically banned assault rifles without a registration. And 68% of Connecticut people who own assault rifles did not comply, turning 68% into felons. We are class felons. I had to move my guns out of the state. And now, what has happened since then? That's 68% of people that did not register their guns that are now technically felons. We still haven't committed any crimes. The fact is, law-abiding gun owners are not going to commit crimes, and that's the only ones that these laws hurt. That we have to examine the issue here. It's like maybe we should make murder more illegal. This is not about guns. This is about crazy people. Spoons don't make people fat. Right. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. You want real solutions here? You comment your solutions to our thing. We don't want to hear about how much you hate the president. We know how much you hate the president. All right. So send us your solutions for this. One thing we have to look at here, Rick, and is tragedy is the price of liberty. It always is. It always will be. There are always going to be crazy people out there. And if they didn't have a gun, they do it with a knife. More people are killed with baseball bats than guns every year. But look, the issue here is look at Switzerland. Switzerland has mandatory gun ownership. Okay, everybody's own guns. The government issues you rounds to go practice, right. And there is one of the lowest murder rates of any single country in the world. Yet Honduras, socialist-controlled, gun-restricted, you can't own a gun in Honduras, has the highest murder rate in the world. So what does gun control actually do? I mean, what is sensible gun control?
I hear that argument.
Big issue. I think we're completely overlooking this, and Rick and I were talking about this during the break. Is the gun issue? We need to look past the gun issue here. We are a society of slipping moral fiber. I mean, we have children at a very, very, very young age playing extremely violent video games. I think that there's a ton of violent videos out there, and you look at all these other countries that aren't having these problems, they don't have similar access to this stuff like this, and it's not widely publicized. So we need to look at what is going on, where our youth are being raised. Look at the recent shooters. They're all younger guys. They're not older guys. 100 years ago, kids brought their guns to school and put them next to their desk. There were no shootings. The recent bulk of mass shootings have been in the last 20 years.
Carl Higbie is a former Navy SEAL and running for Connecticut's 4th Congressional District. But first things first, Carl, what you used to do for the country, and that's wear fatigues and do whatever's necessary to get the enemy. How did you feel when you were on base as compared to when you were in battle?
I tell you, when you're on, first off, nobody's laughing now. When you said who's laughing now, it's not funny. And our troops are being sacrificed at the altar of political correctness. So you do feel left out there. You know, the military puts on the facade of a secure base, but realistically, why would you not want to arm America's most effective security weapon?
And you guys have already been trained to use that weapon in the most tense circumstances. And in this case, this is a guy that came on base and got a gun legally, but brought it on base illegally, used it to kill our guys, shoot 16 and kill 3. So having said that, it's impossible to ever, we've got to pat this guy down each and every time 42,000 people go in and out of a base like that?
Well, you're not going to pat them all down. You're on the honor system. And it comes back to the Second Amendment. Our troops, they sacrifice more rights and privileges than anybody. You have to put in chits to get married, to travel. If you want to buy a house, you have to, anything. It's unbelievable. You can't speak out in the media. Look at what happened with me in my book. You can't carry a gun to your place of work.
Because you wrote your book? What happened?
Exactly. I wrote my book, and they said, you're gone. And I said, look, I have a First Amendment right. As long as I'm adhering to
security protocol, I have that right. And we ultimately did okay in the legal scheme of it. But the problem is our troops are sacrificing so much overseas. They're coming back, and they're still sacrificing their rights, not privileges, their rights here at home.
So I want to tell you what the Army spokesperson says, George Wright, about the current ban. He says if you are a soldier and you live in the barracks, you have to store your weapon in the arms room. Where's the arms room?
The arms room's not close to your barracks, that's for sure. What happens is when you come on base, if you do have a personal weapon, say you live on base, you have to store it in a locked area. But when seconds counts, that locked area is minutes away.
So what could you do now to take action? I know you're running for Congress personally, so you can change things. Yeah. But if you're on base wearing camouflage on a daily basis, wearing uniforms for a living, what can you do?
That's the problem. And there is the growing divide between who makes the decisions of what happens and what actually happens and who does the job. And what we need to do is, I can't tell everybody in uniform right now to carry your gun on base because they'll all get in trouble for it. It's ridiculous. But we need to fix this legislatively and say, now it's on you. There's been 3 shootings on a military base. It's the job of our elected officials, the job of our senior military commanders to say, enough's enough, start carrying a gun on base. It's the Second Amendment, and I stand firmly behind it.
Carl, your thoughts on this?
I think this is disgusting. It's atrocious. I mean, you look at the Obama administration championed Bo Bergdahl when he came back from deserting and aiding the enemy, yet this guy defended his troops, and now he might be facing charges. It's disgusting.
I mean, what message does this send to those in uniform right now, that if you step forward and follow your vow, your oath to protect your brother in arms, that you will now, what, be sitting there waiting to be prosecuted?
Right. I faced similar prosecution with this with a couple of my brothers back in 2009. And the issue is this guy upheld his oath, foreign and domestic, and now they may charge him for it. I mean, this sends a message of mediocrity and, stand down to our own military.
What is your message today? What would you like people to do?
Well, right now I started a White House petition on my Facebook page. You can get the link. On my Twitter page, you can get the link. It's at Carl Higbie. And I want you to go there and sign this thing so we can block the prosecution, block any charges from being levied against this guy, Commander White, because I think he's a hero. He did the right thing. And I would also call service members right now to start carrying your weapons. They can't prosecute us in numbers, but you need to protect yourself.
So you're actually calling for a mass of service members to carry arms right now. We're going to put that petition on our website at foxandfriends.com as well. The repercussions moving forward, when you say that right now, because the Pentagon is looking at policy to say, what can we do? So far, the suggestions have been pull down the shades and take your uniforms off.
Exactly.
Is that enough?
That's not who we are. I mean, if we took that passive approach, we'd all be speaking German after World War II. I mean, this is not who Americans are. Americans are great, and look, you have guys out there like Trump championing this cause. But as Madison Rising said, they will be ready if it goes there.
Carl Higbie, we thank you for your time, and really a fight right now to get more people to that petition. We'll put it on our website again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.